possibility to manifest the greatness. That you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again, because you came this way. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day, believing that I can do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you are the one. Don't give up on your dream. By continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, the one day, I would have my own talk show. From living sitting on bed or breathing on the floor. Never knowing my mother and father being here with you today in this storm. In Atlanta, it's a long shot. No courage turning labor to educate mental retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. When I was 5th grade, I identified as mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade, and stayed in that career until I got out of high school. I don't have any college training, but I met a high school teacher who one day changed my life. I was waiting on another student, and when he came in, he said to me, "Young man, go to the board and write what I'm about to tell you." And I said, "I can do that, sir." He said, "Why not?" I said, "I'm not one of your students." He said, "It doesn't matter, follow my directions now." I said, "I can do this, sir." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because I'm educable mental retarded." And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, "Don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears began to run from my eyes, and I was in the back just listening to him. Because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And I said, "Les Brown," he said, "if you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be hungry." I told Mr. Watson I wanted to become a disc jockey, and so I decided working to develop myself. He said, "I want you to practice every day being a disc jockey." I said, "But I don't have any job now." He said, "It doesn't matter." He said that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. And as I was working to develop myself, I applied for a job as a disc jockey at WMB Miami Beach. I went to a guy named Milton Butterball. I said, "How are you doing, Mr. Butterball? I'd like to get a job as a teacher." He looked at me. He said, "Do you have any broadcast background?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." "Do you have any journalism background?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "We don't have any jobs available." I said, "Yes, sir." I went back to Mr. Washington and I told him. He said, "Don't take it personally." He said, "Most people are so negative that we have to say no 7 times before they say yes." He said, "Go back again." So I went back again. I said, "How are you doing, Mr. Butterworth? My name is Les Brown." He said, "I don't want your name, Mr. Butterworth. I know whether or not somebody got laid off or somebody was." He said, "Did I tell you just yesterday we didn't have a job?" I said, "Yes, sir, but I don't know whether or not somebody got laid off or somebody was fired, sir." He said, "No one was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here." I came back the next day like I was in for the first time. I said, "Hello, Mr. Butterworth. How are you?" He looked at me with orange. He said, "Go get me some coffee." I said, "Yes, sir." And I went to get him some coffee. Afterward, I'll get their lunch and dinner. I'll go in the control rooms and take the disc jockeys their food, and I will not leave until they would ask me to leave. One Saturday afternoon, while I was at the radio station, a guy named Rock was drinking while I was watching in the air. I was the only one there looking at him through the control room windows, working back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. Pretty soon the phone rang. It was general manager. And I answered the phone. "Hello?" He said, "Les, this is Mr. Klein." I said, "I know." He said, "Rock can finish this program." I said, "I know." He said, "Would you call one of the other DJs in?" I said, "Yes, sir." I hung the phone up. I said, "Now he must think I'm crazy." I called my mom and my girlfriend Cassandra. Said, "You're turn up the radio, come out of the front porch. I'm about to come on the air." I waited for about 20 minutes. And I called him back. I said, "Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody." He said, "Young boy, do you know how to work the controls?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Go in there and don't say nothing here." I said, "Yes, sir." I couldn't wait to get behind those controls and strip all those with fingertips. I sat down behind the turntable. I said, "Look out, this is me, arbitrary paper. Let's brown your plate of plain paper. There will none before me, there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bonafide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your loving." I was hungry. I was hungry. You gotta be hungry. Begin to know that you have greatness within you, and if just one of you here begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if you begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means that you have greatness. This is what that means that you have greatness within you and responsibility to manifest that greatness. That you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again, because you came this way. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. It was so very difficult to pick myself up each day, believing that I can do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you are the one, just give up on your dream. By continuing to push forward, by continuing to work my dream, then one day, out at my own talk show, from river to sitting on bender breathing on the floor, never knowing my mother and father being here with you today in this town. I'm educable mental retarded, but I put toward my dream. Don't stop.
We're at this dance,
What's this dance and I find her name is Making an impact. It's not about making an icy impression. It's about making an impact. It's about doing your best. I learned how to make an impact from the wisest person I met in my life, a third grade dropout. Wisest drop in the same sentences with the oxymoronic, like jumbo shrimp. Like fun run. Ain't nothing fun about it. And it's not oxymoronic for me to say third grade and drop out. That third grade dropout, the wisest person I ever met in my life, who taught me to combine knowledge and wisdom to make an impact, was my father. A simple cook. A wisest man I met in my life, just a simple cook. Left school in the third grade to help. Just because he left school doesn't mean his education stopped. Mark Twain once said, "I never allowed my school getting." My father taught himself how to read, taught himself how to write. They sat in the midst of Jim Crowism as America breathing on the last gasp of Civil War. My father decided to help stamp young man, not a black man, not a brown man, not a white man, but a man. He literally challenged himself to be the best he could all the days of his life. A third grade dropout that who was quoting Michelangelo saying, "Boys, I want to have but I'm gonna really if you roll and hit." A country mother called Harley Ford saying, "If you think you can or think you can't, you're right." I learned that from a third grade drop. Simple lessons. Lessons like this, son, you'd ever get up early. Son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. We never knew what time it was in my house because the clocks were always ahead. My mother saying for nearly 30 years, my father left the house at 30:45 in the morning. One day she asked him why, Daddy. He said, "Maybe one of my boys will catch me in the act of it. I want to share a few things with you." Aristotle said, "You're what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. Don't ever forget that. I know you're seaworthy, but always remember to be kind, always. Don't ever forget that. Never, immerse mama." Yeah, mommy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If daddy ain't happy, nobody cares, but I'm going to tell you. Next lesson. Lesson from a cook over there in the galley. Son, make sure your servant's tower is bigger than your ego. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Stupidity. You might have a relative in mind you want to send it to. Let me say it again. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Pride is the burden of a first person. John Wooden coached basketball at UCLA for a living, but his calling was to impact people. And with all those national championships, guess what he was found doing in the middle of the week? Going into the cupboard, grabbing a broom, and sweeping his own zinc floor. You want to make an impact? Find your broom. Every day in your life, you find your broom. You'll grow your influence that way. That way, you're attracting people so that you can impact them. Final lesson. Son, if you're gonna do a job, do it right. I've always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, before all these people, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if I can be better, and better isn't good enough if I can be best. Let me close with a very personal story that I think will bring all this into focus. Wisdom will come to you in the unlikeliest of sources, a lot of times through failure. When you hit rock bottom, remember this. Or you're struggling, rock bottom can also be a great foundation on which to build and on which to grow. I'm not worried that you will be successful. I'm worried that you won't fail from time to time. Person that gets up off the canvas and keeps growing. That's the person that will continue to grow their influence. Back in the 70s, to help me make this point, let me introduce you to someone. I met the funniest woman I've met in my life. Back in my day, we called her a brick house. This woman was the funniest one I've ever seen in my life. This was just a little problem. There was just a little problem. Back then, ladies didn't like big old linemen. The blind side hadn't come out yet. They like quarterbacks and running backs. We are at this dance. Trina Williams from Longco, California, and we are dancing and we are just excited. And I decided in the middle of the dancing with her, that I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for that I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. Her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. That I would ask her for her phone number. Trina was the The Trina was the only one in college who gave me a real telephone number. The next day, we walked Baskin Robbins ice cream parlor. My friends couldn't believe it. This has been 40 years ago, and my friends still can't believe it. We go on a second date, and a third date, and a fourth date. We drive from Chico to Barleo so that she could be my parents. My father meets her, my daddy, my hero. He meets her, pulls me to the side, and he said, "Is she psycho?" But anyway, we go together 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. By now, Trina's senior in college. I'm still a freshman, but I'm working some things out. I'm so glad I graduated 4 times. Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan. 아, 오늘 너무 열심히 했다. 오늘 15분이나 했네. 원래 10분 하면 땡 쳐야 되는데 50%나 더 했네. 150% 오늘 달성했네. I can't believe it. I did English study for 50 minutes. And usually I study around 10 minutes. I did too hard today because it's related my wake up time. Yesterday I was really tired, so I just slept at almost 8 p.m. 8:30. So I get up around 3:30 a.m. So I have a lot of times to study. That's because I studied a little bit longer than usual, and through this study, I have remind what I have to do or what I during my days. I rearrange my mind. What is the remind of priority, how I live, and what should I think? Because if I don't think, the situation makes think. I dragged by situation. This mind control or reorganized my priority is the really gonna important, I think. So one shot to kill. Easily say. One is study English and 2 is remind my mind. So I'm really happy to study like this, and this is my favorite method. In Korea, usually study English is boring and just writing and read. There are few percentage of talking because English is just a subject. Usually English is not a language but some method for test. So little bit awkward in the view of studied language. But anyway, I want to tell you a lot of things, but a little bit difficulty to express my how I'm think. I need more practice. Maybe after 6 months like this way, I will grow more than this, I think. But anyway, almost 20 minutes. Oh, no. Stop. Bye.